To be able to bring enough back, we now have to go further and further out because our traditional fishing grounds are no longer productive.
Keith is one of millions of people who make their living from the sea.
It's like the moment of anxiety. Am I going to catch? Am I going to catch enough? Am I going to be able to pay the crew?
And like many others, he's sounding an alarm.
We used to stay out from 6 to 8 days and would get significant catch to cover expenses, earn a significant income to take home. But now, to be able to bring the same amount of money home, we have to stay out till double the number of days. So this is due mainly, I would say, to overfishing.
The Seychelles, like many small developing economies, has sold the rights to fish in its waters to boats from the European Union.
What is a man from the Basque country doing here, thousands of miles from home?
Historically, our small boats went to fish over there. Now, the small boats becoming bigger boats like this.
Yeah, it's massive.
Okay. And most of the fleet is Spanish and is French.
Modern fishing techniques, bolstered by sonars and computers, have allowed industrial operations to gain more of a catch.
This tuna.
Wow, okay, you can
we
see
have
it.
go to take the tuna, shoot in the net here, and take this the tuna.
Easy.
Easy for me. Tuna is coming. Tac, 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 tac.
How many hours is this process?
Hours.
It's just minutes.
Minutes.
But in recent years, the statistics have revealed something disturbing.
It's been an article of faith in fishing circles for as long as anyone can remember that there was a pretty much infinite number of fish in the sea, that however big the population got, you'd always be able to find fish for the table. And for most of the 20th century, that was pretty much borne out by the numbers. Decade after decade, the number of fish being caught rose and rose. But in recent years, something changed. And the fish catches started, for the first time in history, to fall.
For some economists, it's an illustration of an old theory, the tragedy of the commons. We all own the oceans, and yet none of us does. It's common property. And there's nothing to stop each of us individually doing what we want with it. En masse, that has serious consequences. So serious that even institutions like the Bank of England are starting to count the cost.
It's individually rational behavior. The cost of having another cow on the common pasture, for the individual it's a net benefit, but for the group it can lead to overgrazing and net cost. The extra fishing trawler in the high seas, again, individual benefit. For the world, overfishing, potential extinction of some fish stocks, all these other feedbacks. So those are market failures.
But those market failures are exacerbated by a growing population and unprecedented demand around the world for fish. This tuna cannery in the Seychelles produces 1.6 million cans a day, much of it going to the UK and Europe.
We are talking about 60% of fish stocks being overfished. So this means that we are putting extremely heavy pressure on our marine resources.
Some academics think we're running out of time. They say that unless something changes, and soon, humankind will have effectively exhausted the oceans of fish by 2050. Ed Conway, Sky News.